This commentary video is brought to you by Spin Jammer Frisbees, because if you're gonna spin a narrative, at least try to be good at it.
Oh, okay, here we go. Hi guys. So it's so weird to be like, hi guys, because wow, hi, it's been a minute.
I'm sure a lot of you do not recognize this face, but do not worry, I'm here to explain everything and why this person is trash. Couple disclaimers out there. Yes, this is the second video of the day. Like I said in my first video earlier today, these are pre-recorded just for today only, because if everything went right, I'm probably out and about right now, so I didn't have time to be home and editing. So I wanted to leave you with some content that you can comment on, and I'll probably look at your comments a little bit later. This is your second video of the day. Also, follow me on Twitter for the next two videos that I am trying to work on. I left a poll up about one of them, and then I left another one that was already expired, but you can still respond to if you can find it. I'll try to repost the polls again if I remember. So editing me, try to remember that. If you don't, that's fine. So, a lot of clips, a lot of contradictions, and just, I have a lot of things to say. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hey, what is up everybody? Yes, I returned to your phone, your computer, your TV, your tablet, your laptop. I don't know what you're watching me on, where you are right now, but welcome back to all you legends. It's me, it's Malcolm, and today was not expecting to hear from this person ever again. I was hoping to never talk about this person ever again, but here we are. Nikki Phillippi, who, by the way, is the one that euthanized her own dog, we'll get to that, decided she's going to come back to YouTube, she's gonna upload on Patreon and all this stuff, and she released an 18-minute video where she played victim, and that's not a hyperbole, that's not a joke, that's really not a joke. She really played victim for 18 minutes straight. We're gonna get into it. So I figured, why not sit down, analyze this video, let's look at it, because she says we're gonna do it anyway. So I said, you absolutely right. Now, for those that are new, or for those that are like, who is this Nikki Phillippi person and why should I care? Basically, Nikki Phillippi is a family/lifestyle YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers, and Nikki, along with her husband Dan, had a son and a dog named Bowser. Now, all you need to know is that after an incident where Bowser got upset after the child kept messing with Bowser, kept messing with their face while they were trying to eat, Bowser ended up nipping the child on the nose. This then led to Nikki and Dan euthanizing Bowser because they said it had crossed the line when Bowser retaliated because the child was messing with Bowser trying to eat their food, by the way. And not only that, I think what really made people the most upset is that Nikki and Dan Phillippi decided to have a photo shoot, or whatever you want to call it, taking pictures with both Bowser and their child in the same picture, and leaving a long caption about how they're so sad that they had to put this dog down. You would think it would not get worse, but trust me, it did, because Nikki and Dan released a video on Nikki Phillippi's channel, which is 24 minutes long, basically them trying to make people feel bad for them for what they decided to do to their own dog, because in their own words, they could not rehome the dog, so they had to put it down. Now, this video alone led to Nikki taking a break from her YouTube, and also Nikki and Dan Phillippi both privating their Instagram accounts and pretty much leaving social media for the time being. Now, Nikki Phillippi has actually come back, of course, because we're talking about this video that she just released. So she just came back, she unprivated her Instagram, but now all the comments and stuff were turned off. We will get to that eventually. But now that we are 2 months from that, which it's crazy to think about, that was only 2 months ago, but since they were gone, like, nobody could really tell. But now that she's back, she made this video, which again is 18 minutes of feel bad for me because I'm the victim. I kid you not, that's 18 minutes of this video, which is all of it. Let's talk about it. I have some things to say. I have some notes because like what you're not about to do is try to rewrite history, and that's what Nikki is trying to do. Now, the intro I played earlier, that was the intro of the video. That wasn't me just pulling a random clip from a video to like dunk on her or anything. That was the intro to her video. And as you could already tell, it was like kind of awkward because how do you come back after making a video where you explained that you put your dog down when you really didn't need to put your dog down? Don't know how you do an intro like that. Don't know why you would record a video at all or come back at all, but she did come back. Now, she talks about this in half the video, and I'm gonna tell you right now, nobody cares, and I don't think nobody cares. She was like, just giving you guys an update. We finally moved because like, I think she talked about it in the last video, which was the one where she tries to make people feel bad that her and her husband put down Bowser. Gonna keep saying that because she really tried it, and I ain't having it. Sorry. Now this is where I knew where the video was gonna go. So near the beginning, Nikki talks about how for 3 whole days she cried about how she had to put down Bowser and how they were gonna make that video on her YouTube and make people feel bad for her.
And so that's part of what I want to do today. I want to explain some of those things in a more succinct manner, but I also want to go over a couple of just kind of things from the last video before we move forward, specifically because I have some family members that really felt like I need to clarify a couple of things. So that's kind of part of what I want to do today. But, you know, in that video, when I talked, a big part of what I talked about and what I wanted to make succinct, there's a lot of things, but a big part of that was, like I said, how painful this has all been, because putting Bowser to sleep, as we said in that video, was the hardest thing we've ever done in our lives, both of us. And that was so difficult in and of itself. When we sat to film that video, we had been crying for 3 days straight.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Nikki, nobody cares that you cried for 3 days. You know what would prevent you from crying for 3 days? Maybe not putting your dog down. And literally, I could already tell from that clip, she starts getting a little bit defensive, and this is like not even 4 minutes in. 4 minutes in, until the rest of the video, she's super defensive and she's super deflecting, pretty much putting the blame on us, the people, for how her next 2 months after the video went, pretty much blaming us that she ruined her own life. So next thing you know, Nikki decides to go on the offensive, saying things like, oh, people's judgments of us was so inaccurate, and talks about how she's lost all of her work and all of her income. Well, not all of it, but most of it, because she primarily got her income from YouTube, and she pretty much lost all of that. And then she calls the people she called us a mob.
Being canceled is crazy. We lost all of our work as of right now for the rest of the year. A large portion of our income has been this kind of family business on the internet, and sponsorship has been a big thing for us. And, you know, the mob kind of won in that sense. We lost all of our work. And so processing everything has been just devastating and really, really difficult on so many different levels.
Okay, so you're blaming the mob for what you did, and because people don't understand the full story, you lost your sponsorships and pretty much all traction on your YouTube. And for those that don't know, as a YouTuber, if you don't post consistently, or if you take like a long extended break, it's really hard to get any traction back. So that's our fault, right? But here's the thing, I'm gonna keep bringing it up. You and your husband decided to put your dog down. We didn't say that. all of us were like, why did you put the dog down? I kid you not, around 6 minutes of the video, she really makes it a point of emphasis that she never gets to, that she wanted to clear up the aggression that Bowser was displaying and all this stuff. Spoiler alert, the aggressive behavior was never cleared up. And I wanted to make a point, and I don't know why she said this or why she felt the need to say this, but she makes it a point of emphasis that she didn't even want to address this or anything. What she really wanted to do was just give people an update that she was moving and stuff. But she says her parents were like, oh, you should clear this up. Let me get this straight, because your parents were like, oh, you should clear up the aggressive behavior that she never addresses, by the way. Oh, you should clear the aggressive behavior from Bowser. That's why she decided to address it. Okay, and I want to make it very clear that in this video, she says the previous video, which is the 24-minute long waste of time, is not only her truth, but the truth, which doesn't make sense because of the next thing I'm about to talk about. Now, Nikki is saying that she and Dan both downplayed that Bowser caused concerns for not just them, but for her whole family. And then she goes back to the first video, and I told you I love contradictions. I caught this one pretty easily. Now she's saying in the first video that she was protecting Bowser by not talking about how aggressive he truly was. And by doing that, she unintentionally made it sound like Bowser was not as aggressive as she felt that he was, or whatever. The way she said it was so weird. All you need to know is that she says, oh, I unintentionally made Bowser seem like an angel. Pretty much what she said, which is literally going back on the first video where she's praising Bowser for being very, like, a good dog, very kind, even when her child was a baby, all this stuff. But now, 2 months later, it's, oh, by the way, Bowser is actually aggressive. I just wanted to let you all know that. And just so you know, I'm not really like blowing smoke, here is a clip from that video, that 24-minute video, where Dan, which is Nikki's husband, described what he thought he should have done with Bowser at the time of the incident between Bowser and his son.
Well, we were out the door, right? And in the moment, I'm thinking, you know, I grew up with the movie Old Yeller, and I wanted to pick Bowser up by the back of the neck and take him into the backyard and put him down right there.
I also want to let y'all know that Dan also said, nobody knows Bowser more than me, and nobody knows how to take care of him more than me. If that's the case, why did you seek experts for advice? I'm just saying. Now, surprisingly, a lot of YouTubers don't do this, but actually Nikki addressed the reason why she turned off comments, not just on YouTube, but she also turned off comments on Instagram. And she actually explains why right here.
So here's where we're at now. I'm going to be turning off comments for the time being on everything. YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, because a lot of the comments that were directed at us were vile, disgusting, horrible comments. A lot of them were directed at our son. And so we're not gonna have that. So we're gonna have comments off for the time being.
Now, I'm not saying it's manipulative to use your son as a shield from criticism, but no, maybe I could be wrong, and I really, really could be wrong, but maybe I just missed it. Maybe I just missed it magically, right? But I didn't see any comments about their son, like, at all. The comments that did reference the son was pretty much saying, why would you let your child near that dog, or why weren't you watching your child? Well, those are the only comments I saw in any reference to their son. Now, am I saying fully that there were no comments like that? No. But to make it seem like the majority of us were coming at your son who can't even defend themselves. I really have nothing to say about that. It's just very baffling to me that you really said that out your mouth when it really doesn't seem true. After she talks about how she turned off comments on both YouTube and Instagram, the very next thing that she talks about honestly did not shock me. But she says, and I'm about to show you the clip, she says that she's going to be uploading all of our YouTube content on Patreon. And if you don't know what Patreon is by now, I'm gonna say it one more time. Patreon is a pay-by-month service. And what makes this very important, and this is what I mean by something about this video felt so off. She says she's going to re-upload, or not re-upload, she's going to upload all of her YouTube videos on Patreon, but she's going to leave the comments on. So basically, and this is kind of, in my opinion, wrong, she's basically silencing her critics, but also for the people that want to support her, she's kind of having to force them to pay a monthly fee to go watch the same thing they would see on YouTube for free so they can leave loving comments that she can read. Now, does that seem fair to you?
And I'm actually going to be restarting Patreon. Now, I don't know what that's going to look like. A big reason for that is because I kind of want to decide with you guys. I have ideas, but I'm not sure A, what I can handle, B, what's going to even make financial sense. So what I'm going to be doing on Patreon is I'm going to be uploading all of the videos that I put on YouTube to Patreon as well, and that is where comments will be left on. So if engaging in comments with me, that's where I'm going to be checking the community with other people on the channel within the community. If that's something that you like, that will be available, but only on Patreon for the time being. Or if you don't care and you just want to throw a dime in our bucket or whatever, not literally dime, whatever amount you want to throw, and you want to support us, obviously that's beyond appreciated.
So don't you dare leave any vile comments. Don't leave her any negative comments about her son. However, if you do pay, you can leave all the comments you want. Now, near the end of the video, she thanked all these people that reached out to her, gave her support and all this stuff, that she didn't seem to have time to respond to all the nice things that people were saying to her. Pretty much at the end of the video, it's just like another YouTube ending where she's like, oh my god, okay, bye guys. But then she does it like 4 times. Like, I kid you not, like I skipped through the like the last 60 seconds. She says bye guys like 4 times when I did that. So she probably said it more and I just missed it, but I counted 4 times. And that's pretty much how the video ends. Now, I know what you're saying. Did she ever explain or show anything that proves that she downplayed how aggressive Bowser was? No, she did not. I literally watched all 18 minutes of that, right? And it was literally 18 minutes of, I'm the victim, the mob came to get me, and I lost most of my income. And just so y'all don't think I'm like giving y'all BS, here's a clip from that 24-minute video where they explain why they had to euthanize their dog. They talk about how good of a dog Bowser was.
We actually attempted to rehome Bowser because, like we said, we know that, I mean, he's our little like clown. He was our clown angel. Like, I don't, it's, sorry if I'm awkward. It's just finding the words are really awkward because it's, you know, emotional.
I kid you not, at some point in the video, I was just waiting for some sort of, and here's Bowser being aggressive, or here's why I downplayed Bowser's aggressiveness. I was waiting for something, or like her to even tell a story about how Bowser was aggressive, but it never happened. And you know what? I don't think those stories exist. Like, you really had a chance to be like, and this is a story about Bowser being aggressive, or like, this is a story, blah, blah, blah. Besides the one time where her son messed with Bowser while they were eating, which resulted in Bowser nipping at the kid, which I'm not saying the kid deserve to get hurt or anything. Obviously not. You can't just say it's all the dog's fault. And I really don't think Nikki or Dan or any of her family really understand that. You're really putting all the blame on an animal for being an animal. And that's probably the most realistic thing I could say about this whole thing. Blaming an animal for being an animal and being shocked by it after the fact is baffling to me. And the whole vibe, and this is like my last bit of notes right here, the whole vibe of the video was, okay, but my dog was actually aggressive, I just didn't tell you guys. That was the vibe of the video, and then you still didn't explain how Bowser was aggressive or any of that stuff, which, again, is baffling to me. If you came out in the video and said, you know, I should have watched my child better, I shouldn't have let my child near that dog, especially if you knew that the dog was aggressive, I would think you would keep your child away from said dog. If your child was like constantly yelling at the dog, even pulled the dog's ear to the point where like the dog was in physical pain, she forgot to mention that at all again. Or like messing with the dog's face while it was eating. My final thoughts on this whole thing is that Nikki is very tone deaf, and she comes across as someone that is bitter that she got caught, and not only caught, she really thought that people were going to be on her side, and the fact that people weren't on her side, I think that caught her off guard as well, to the point where it's like, we're the aggressors now, because it's just like, well, my dog was aggressive, y'all just didn't know it. But now you're magically telling us 2 months later, after the fact, it's like Bowser can't defend himself. He's gone now. He's gone. He can't defend himself. I don't know if her son can talk. I don't know. But your son can't talk about the dog, obviously. So we really have to go by your word? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. So what do you all think? Do you think my recap was pretty good? I think I pretty much covered everything, every point that she made in the video that was relevant to the elephant in the room, as she says. I don't know, she said she's coming back to YouTube and all this stuff, so we'll see. But I really don't see her, just like Brooke Houts, which I'm planning on talking about one day again, because her redemption, or whatever she tried, failed miserably. I'm seeing Nikki going down the same path where they're trying to revamp what they are, or trying to just keep posting videos and ignore the hate. But eventually it will get to you again. And that's where I'm at with that. Once again, it is Malcolm. That's me. I have a lovely subscription button up here. I also have 2 other videos over there for your own free time. Without further ado, I wish you well, I wish you good health, and I will see you again next time.